Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift Farm. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's throw up the field for Saturday's Spa Baby race. We kick off the 20-cent Empire 6 with race number 6, going 6.5 furlongs. And Nicole, you really can't ask for anything more. This is your typical classy Saratoga 2-year-old maiden race, several high-ticket purchases, beautiful pedigrees, and an eclectic mix of first-time starters and experienced performers.
Yeah, this is sort of the classic baby race on a Saturday at Saratoga where they're running on the undercard of some of these big stakes, and you're wondering if you might see some future stars. Certainly some well-regarded horses in here, judging by, their purchase prices and their connections.
The number 1 is Engrave, trained by Chad Brown, a $900,000 yearling purchase and a fascinating pedigree by the good dirt stallion Flatter. Engrave is a half-brother to Beach Patrol, who won the Arlington Million and the Joe Hirsch Turf Classic. But then you go deep into the female family and you see a lot of dirt ability. It seems like Engrave might be able to perform on anything, but he does have to deal with the inside post.
Yeah, and really the inside post is the only thing not to like about this colt for top connections. A $900,000 yearling by Flatter. Flatter, a son of AP Indy, you would expect him to, sire distance ability. He's got champion West Coast as well as Flat Out on his resume, but he's also the sire of Grade 1 winning sprinters Terrace and Paola Queen, plus graded winners like Tar Heel Mom and Kobe's Back sprinting. Plenty of speed, as you mentioned, in that female family as well. I look for a good effort from Engrave, but again, that inside post, especially against a tough field, may be tough to overcome.
What an interesting international pedigree for the number 2 Southern Passage. This is a son of Kentucky Derby winner Super Saver, and he is a half-brother to a couple of graded stakes winners in Peru. The Dam was a Group 1 stakes winner going long on dirt in Peru. Southern Passage sold for $47,000, goes out for Dale Romans. This horse at a price might be able to sneak into your exotics.
Perhaps he will come running late. Certainly the female family makes me think that this one might want to go longer in the future by Super Saver, who can sire a good sprint horse and Grade 1 winning juvenile Competitive Edge and champion sprinter Run Happy. But the overall impression the pedigree gives me is that this one might want more distance.
Another lovely mix of stamina and speed in the pedigree we see with the number 3 Officiating by Breeders' Cup Classic winner Blame. Officiating is a half to Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies winner Caledonia Road, a $100,000 yearling buyback. The Dam a half to Citizen Advocate, who is a very precocious and early 2-year-old. Bill Bott likes to give him a race sometimes.
Yeah, and certainly that's what you might expect from Bill Mott. Caledonia Road was a champion 2-year-old, but she certainly got better later in the year as the distances got longer. That's also what you'd expect from sire Blame. I think this is another one to circle maybe out of, what looks like a tough race here and watch for down the road.
The number 4, Swill, one of the horses in this race with prior experience. He is a son of Munnings, who sold for $265,000 as a yearling. This is the family of synthetic and turf routers like Mass Track and Jamile, a horse overseas. Swill ran well in his career debut. He was in against a beast. The ride of a lifetime, came back to run a good second the other day in the Saratoga Special. When we get these maiden races beyond 6 furlongs, I kind of look to these experienced horses.
Yeah, I think that's certainly a good point. You're looking for a horse who has some foundation. There are some in here who have been working consistently, going 4 furlongs, 5 furlongs, but racing them fit is, something that you can't replicate. Swill by Munnings, who can certainly get you a fast horse, certainly get you a good 2-year-old, and a very nice second to, a next out graded horse, as you mentioned.
And Swill's Dam is by Spendthrift Stallion Into mischief. The number 5 is Indoctrinate, and blinkers might be just what the doctor ordered for this son of Exaggerator, who has run twice, showed improved early speed in his second lifetime start, and I thought was pretty game down towards the inside. $90,000 yearling purchase. I think this horse is going to be up close to the pace.
Yeah, I do think that the blinkers will help. He hasn't run terribly in either of his 2 starts, and there are some names in the past performances that he's finished behind of horses who have been, decently well regarded, and Facci, Garopolo. Exaggerator was so good at 3, a multiple grade 1 winner going long, that we tend to forget a little bit that, he was a graded winning sprinter as a 2-year-old. This is first crop, and he's off the mark with a couple of winners. He's a promising young sire.
Calibrate, the number 6, looks like an exciting prospect for Steve Asmussen, a $340,000 yearling by the excellent stallion Distorted Humor. We see a lot of turf on the bottom of this pedigree, but a lot of class as well. And as always, we urge you to check out Mike Welsh's Clocker Report every racing day at Saratoga. I'm pretty sure he's going to mention that bullet workout on August the 3rd went in company with Thoughtfully, who came back to win the Adirondack off that work.
Yeah, and Thoughtfully, another standout 2-year-old for Steve Asmussen, who can really do no wrong with his 2-year-olds right now. The Adirondack was one of his 3 stakes wins in the past week among multiple winners of this division for him. And this one, Calibrate, has what looks like the typical Asmussen work pattern, that bullet 2 back, followed by more of a maintenance move pre-race. And again, Mike Welsh and his colleagues putting together a huge Clocker Report for the multi-stakes Saturday Alabama Day card, and they'll have some good insight into these first-time starters.
Can't ask for much more from a pedigree perspective with the 7, High Knuckles. High Knuckles is a full brother to millionaire and multiple grade 1 stakes winning sprinter Paula Silver Lining. He's a half-brother to millionaire and 2-time Carter handicap winner Dad's Caps. There's a tremendous amount of pedigree here with High Knuckles. Joel Rosario takes the mount, and this is a sprint pedigree too.
Definitely a sprint pedigree. And another one I'll send you to the Clocker Report for is he looks like he's got a series of sharp works that would certainly back up that speed in his pedigree. The Ghost Zappers do get better as they get older, as Paula Silver Lining and others have shown. That said, speed in this pedigree. And you have to think that Rudy Rodriguez is going to connect with one of these horses eventually. This one gets Joel Rosario aboard for his debut.
He's certainly overdue, as we see from the formulator fact. This is a surprising formulator fact for a phenomenal trainer. 0 for 27 over the past 3 years with 2-year-old first-time starters in maiden special weight dirt sprints. Take that with a grain of salt, considering the speed-oriented pedigree and the fact that this colt's likely going to go off at a good price. The 8 is Charleston Strong. We've already looked at a $900,000 yearling by Flatter. This Flatter colt sold for $600,000 as a yearling. And the dam's a half to a couple of nice distance horses. Ball 4 really got good in the synthetic era out in Southern California. Also won the Kentucky Cup Classic. Really nice, interesting work tab for Charleston Strong. It looked like he went out of the gate on August the 2nd with an older Jeremiah Engelhart trained runner named Runaway Loot, multiple stakes winner who I believe is in on Friday.
Yeah, and this one, as you mentioned, the second expensive yearling in here for Flatter, who, as we discussed earlier, can certainly sire a sprinter. This one certainly maybe better drawn than the other Flatter. And Jeremiah Engelhart can win with these 2-year-olds. This one might be a bit of a sleeper in here in what looks like a tough field, especially, let's watch and see what that stablemate does on Friday.
United and Resolute, I believe, is a strong contender in here for trainer Tom Amos. You can understand why this colt debuted on the turf at Keeneland. The dam won twice on the turf. The second dam did very well on synthetic. And United and Resolute ran really well, swung to the outside, turning into the stretch, and just caught favored Facci, a horse with experience. He's by Violence as United and Resolute, a 20% juvenile stallion, can certainly get a good dirt horse, and Amos does very well second out. Plenty to like.
Yeah, definitely. And as you said, considering the turf and synthetic on the female side, don't blame them at all for debuting this horse on the turf. But now moving from turf and yielding turf at that to dirt, that might be the surface, apologies, that he prefers, especially considering sire Violence. He's the sire of the good dirt sprinter Volatile and others this year, having a really good year. And, as you mentioned, so solid with his 2-year-olds.
Restored at Order, the number 10, made his career debut at Gulfstream on May the 8th, and he ran okay. He's very green. He's on the outside right now. He's on his left lead. He's trying to lug in, and I just think he needed this race. You look at this horse's pedigree, and my goodness, he's going to try to become Frosted's first winner. Frosted was a top racehorse. Not only is he a half to Durlou, a graded stakes placed router, not only is he a half to Smartly Agree, but the dam's a half to Creative Cause, Vexatious, and Destine.
Yeah, and it's really an outstanding family. It's an active family. It's a distance-oriented family. I don't think this horse going as far as he might want to go down the line, but certainly going from 4.5 furlongs on the debut to the 6.5 here can only help, especially with that experience under his belt, since he was a little green first time out and should have learned from that. Frosted's still looking for his first win, but really, I think just a matter of time. An outstanding, well-regarded stallion prospect by emerging sire of sires Tappet, winner of the stallion making Met Mile.
Restored at Order is trained by Todd Pletcher. The also eligible in the race, Donegal Bay, also trained by Pletcher. Top pick time for the Alabama Day Spa Baby event. Our coverage presented by Spendthrift Farm. You're going with Steve Asmussen. He can do no wrong with these 2-year-olds.
He really can't right now. And just looking again at that work pattern for Calibrate, I think this horse is, probably sitting just the way Steve Asmussen would like him coming into the debut. Behind that, I will use Charleston Strong, one of those expensive flatters, another one with a solid work tab coming in. And I will use a couple of experienced horses here to move forward, including Swill, your top pick, who you certainly have to like a bit off that good debut behind a nice horse.
Yeah, I like Swill's experience. I think it'll really come in handy going this demanding 6.5 furlong distance for the 2-year-olds. Brad Cox does excellent work, obviously. Javier Castellano takes them out. I didn't put High Knuckles, the 7, in my top picks, and I wonder if I underestimated him a bit considering all the speed in that pedigree. But you can go so many different ways in Saturday's Spa Baby race. Nicole's going 6'8", 4'10". I'm going 4'5", 2'6". Race number 6 at Saratoga has an approximate post time of 3:57 Eastern, and our Spa Babies coverage is presented by Spendthrift Farm.